You know, one of the things we lose more than anything after a breakup is a sense of control. Control over the relationship and the breakup itself. Control over us, our emotions and our thoughts. Even control over life itself. But what if there was something you could control? And what if that thing could actually help you move on from your ex even quicker? Well, let's discuss. Roll VT. Hi everyone, my name's Andy O'Neill and this is my YouTube channel. I'm a life coach who specialises in breakups, breakup recovery and self-esteem. So if you're new here or you've not yet subscribed, please consider hitting that button. I release videos every single week and hopefully you get some benefit from them. So you've just gone through a breakup, right? And you're feeling a real sense of no control over your life. You can't control those thoughts, those ruminating, obsessive thoughts about your ex 24 hours a day. They're leading to all these emotions you're getting about loss and grief, sad, loneliness, even panic, anxiety, stress, all which feel completely out of control. And it's leaving you feeling hopeless, sad and alone. But despite all those feelings and emotions that you feel like are out of your control, what if there was something that is in your control? And what if that very thing can help you forget your ex and move on to a happier life? Well, a few weeks ago, right, I bought a brand new picture for my bedroom. And I know you're going to think, what the hell's that got to do with breakups? But just bear with me, right? The picture is of a lion walking through a city centre. Now, I love pictures of lions. I've got a few of them around the house. I've even got a tattoo about it. But I love the way this picture looked. I love the shading of it. I love the glossy look of it. And I've got it up in my room as we speak. Cool picture, right? But what does that got to do with breakup recovery? Well, let's have a look at it again. What I see here is a lion, not in its natural habitat, in a city centre, and it's alone. But to me, that represents strength. It's showing the lion as confident, as strong, as powerful. It doesn't care about the life around it. It knows who it is, knows what it is. It's a leader and it isn't afraid. That's how I interpret that picture. But what if we looked at it again and viewed it from a different way? Well, it's not in its natural habitat. It's in a city centre and it's alone. This picture could easily represent the feeling of being scared, of being alone, of being isolated, of being lost in life. It doesn't recognise anything around it, doesn't recognise the people around it. It could be anxious, it could be scared, it could be panicked. It might be fearful of what's round the corner. It doesn't know whether to take a step forward or a step back. It's confused and it's desperate. So what's the point that I'm trying to make here? Well, we've got two very different stories, right? We've got a really powerful, positive story of the lion being strong and unafraid, no matter what's going on around it. And we've got the negative story where it's lost, confused and alone. Yet both of those stories, no matter how different they are coming from the same picture. The picture hasn't changed. The only thing that changes is how we choose to view it. That's the same with your breakup. There's every chance since your breakup, you've been sat at home, lost, confused, alone, thinking your ex was the greatest person that ever walked this earth, that the relationship was the greatest ever, and that you'll never find anybody who can make you as happy as they did. It's making you feel sad, depressed, anxious, panicked, you're not eating, you're not sleeping, because that's a very negative story, right? But what about if you change that story? What if that story was all about how you and your ex wasn't suited, and actually you'll be better off without them? What if that story was, you didn't lose your ex lost you, because they're not going to find someone as good as you? What about if the story's about how you're going to be happier than ever moving forward, and actually that relationship wasn't all that to begin with? What you've effectively done there is change the story rather than change the actual breakup. Because the chances are, since the relationship ended, that's what you've been trying to do. You've been trying to change the actual reality, which is trying to win your ex back. I've no doubt you've watched countless videos, read loads of websites about the no contact rule and what you can do to impress your ex and how they might be feeling and what you can do to win them back. You're trying to change the picture when you don't need to. You need to accept the picture as it is. I didn't look at that picture and go, this is a lion lost and confused and alone. So what I'll try and do is I'll try and draw a couple of more lions on the picture and maybe a couple of trees to make it a more positive picture. No, the picture stays as it is. I just changed the way I viewed it. You need to do the same. You need to accept the breakup as it is. Your ex is gone and they don't want you back. And I know that's shitty to hear, I know that's hard to hear, but it's the reality. What you do have control over though is how you choose to view it. And if you view it in a more positive way, that the breakup was a good thing, over time, you'll start to believe it. And eventually, you'll let go of your ex and you'll move on. Now, this doesn't work straight away. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and suddenly tell yourself, I'm better off without my ex, they've lost me, and I'm going to be happier than ever. And suddenly everything's all right in the world. It doesn't work like that. You've got a deep-rooted belief at the moment that's driven by emotion that you need your ex back to be happy. So it takes consistency, right? And I'll give you an example. I'm a massive Oasis fan, right? I was around in the 90s when they first come out. They were my band. Now, around the mid to late 90s, for about a year or two, they did become the biggest band in the world, right? They did. They had success everywhere. But if you go back and look at some of the earlier interviews from the earlier 90s, you'll notice that in almost every interview they had, they mentioned that they are the biggest band in the world, long before they actually became one. They repeated that story in every single interview, and three things happened as a result. One, you, the viewer, started to believe it. Two, they believed it. And three, it became a reality. You see, the stories we tell ourselves are absolutely vital. If you continue to tell yourself that negative story about the breakup, how your ex was the greatest person that ever lived and the relationship was like a dream and it was all fantastic and you'll never meet anyone as good as them again, you'll continue to believe that and you're going to find it much harder to heal. But if you change that story, if you start seeing it from a positive angle, that actually you're better off without your ex, that actually the relationship wasn't all that, then you'll start to move on. You will start to believe it and you'll start to feel better. And the plus side in all that, you've not had to change the picture, just the way you're viewing it. So this is my task for you this week. I want you to sit and I want you to think of a new story regarding the breakup, a positive story. Put a complete positive spin on the whole breakup and the whole relationship and why it should have ended. And then I want you to tell yourself that story every single day from now onwards, every day. If it helps, put that positive story in the comments. Get it out there in the universe. Really start to believe it. Trust me, over time, your subconscious will start to believe that story. And when it does, you'll start to heal and you'll heal a lot quicker. This is about focusing on the one thing you can control, which is the story you tell yourself. So make it a positive one. Stop giving in to those negative thoughts. Time to fight back. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully that made some sense. Don't forget to bang in the comments what your positive story is regarding your breakup. Let's hear about them. And if you've got any suggestions for future videos, make sure you let me know. Send me an email, drop it in the comments, whatever. And don't forget, I've got a load of resources from a free ebook to an online course to one-to-one coaching. Just hit the link in the description. But for now, nice one for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.